want a ticket straight to them pearly gates.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. In today's video, I want to talk about Kunimitsu, Evo, and a little bit of Tifa once more. We have some more information about her leaks and whatnot. But starting off, we're going to talk about this Bandai Namco Esports event that I dedicated a full video to. Bandai Namco is doing some good things in tackling people who try to cheat and manipulate and gain points throughout their tournaments. I was saying that a lot of pro players are going to celebrate this. They're going to be very happy about this. Not only that, but they also changed the top 8 formats of the tournaments to first to threes, best of 5, instead of first to 2, best of 3. And we already seen the type of change that this can make, where there's been a couple of tournaments that's not necessarily related to Tekken World Tour, but they kind of mirror their rules after it so that the players is the most comfortable. And those tournaments have been very exciting, very entertaining. The top 8s have been magical. If the developers keep up this momentum, I know it's been said 1,000 times, if they keep up this momentum, things will be great. You can see this tweet here from Arsenal and Ash where he's loving all of the changes that they made, and he's looking forward to competing. Also, what I do want to highlight is the developers are showing off more Tekken 8 merch with the Tekken 8 logo plastered over the front of it. This is an Armor King shirt, maybe Armor King mains, which there's a lot of them. Maybe you guys would be interested in buying this. It's a collab with some company. I mean, I think it's cool that they could do this stuff. I just think it's would be cooler if they didn't put the Tekken 8 logo on the front of it. They really don't say too much about this. You know, you can go and find it if you really want to purchase it, but that's cool to see that they are continuing to make merchandise. Now, as for the game itself, we know that it lost a lot of players. Personally, I feel like a lot of players are returning to the game. A lot of people are talking about what they're doing, what they're accomplishing. You know, they're giving the game a shot. And I think the developers should take this momentum and run with it. Because when you look at the Steam charts, we know that Guilty Gear Strive surpassed us a little while ago. Tekken 8 took the lead. And as you can see, a couple of weeks later, Tekken 8 is still holding that lead over Guilty Gear Strive, where Guilty Gear Strive, their numbers is falling, right? So Tekken 8 is maintaining. So that shows that they have the ability to recover. Now, when you talk about this Tifa leak, of course, people are drooling over the idea of Mai, Chun-Li, and Tifa being in the same game. Street Fighter is being called the Gooner game, and it might as well be with what these developers are cooking up. But cooking they are. We still have no concrete confirmation that the leak is real, but with how many people have confirmed that they did hear that Capcom was working on the character, it might as well be. I mean, 5 people. Are all of them going to be wrong when so many of them are so credible? Only time will tell. Maximilian, he says, though, this is a little bit later. Could you imagine this reveal? Leakers ruin everything. The moment in time is lost now. Could have been the coolest thing ever. Now it's just something waiting to happen. Shaking my head. Now, I get this, right? Tekken 8 players kind of said the same thing. When a leak happens, it kind of ruins the reveal. But the way that I view it is that the players are more knowledgeable of what they're paying for. They can now think about whether or not they want to buy Ingrid or, you know, Season 2 or 3, or if they want to wait for the one with Tifa. Knowing leaks about which characters are coming, yes, it spoils it for the people who really love the reveals. But for people who ain't got that much money to spend, having all the information on Earth to know what characters are coming is a good thing. I mean, think about how many people bought, you know, this season pass or that season pass waiting for Armor King, you know? So, or Miguel, right? Harada said Miguel is coming same time as Kunimitsu, and Miguel is not here. You know, this is why I at times ask, what is false advertisement and what is kind of like gaslighting? But I get what he's saying here. I think that it doesn't really change much because the way that Street Fighter reveals their characters as well is that they just show like an image of the characters. Like you have this mock-up here that someone created. They kind of just show the image and you just get to look at the image for like 5 months until the character release. So Tifa, the only difference now is that we don't have an image to look at and we just kind of know or feel that the character is coming. But moving on, Kunimitsu is fastly approaching. The developers released this screenshot here where they showed the breakdown of how they want to release Season 3. We got the Season Pass. We got the balance update. We got the rank reset. Now next up is Kunimitsu, late spring. For those of you who don't know, late spring is basically the end of May, and it's fastly approaching. Evo Japan, there is no confirmed reveal happening there, but every past Evo Japan for like the last 5 years, they always have done a reveal. So I do not think that that will change, especially when we haven't heard anything about Kunimitsu, and this is the biggest tournament, one of the biggest tournaments of the year. It makes sense that they'll reveal that character, and information that could point us in that direction comes from Wolfmaker. For those of you guys who don't know, this is a person who makes a lot of the character artwork, you know, the character panels for the game. So this person has a lot of inside knowledge of what characters is coming because they have to draw them. This person says, Kunimitsu is almost here. The character panel looks great, so look forward to it. This is one of the rough sketches I made. Now, this is a really cool picture. You guys take a look at it. But notice how they say Kunimitsu is almost here. This tweet came 6 days by the time you're watching this video. It will be 4 days before Evo Japan. So saying that Kunimitsu is coming before the tournament where we all expect her revealed to be, you know, you line up the dots there. For those of you who are a little bit interested about the player side, pro side, the esports side of Evo Japan, here is an important update. The confirmed Pakistani players who will be participating in Evo Japan is Dejan, Arsalan Ash, Atif, Farzin, both Hazfiz, it's 2 of them, Adele and Tavir. You also have Newman, Quasmir, Usaman Abi, and Bilal. That is a army of Pakistani players. We know that one of them could cause serious problems for the whole bracket. So this many, expect one of them to do great work. But also we know that the Koreans and the Japanese and the Americans and EU players have been battling very hard as well. Who will take it? I don't know. Lastly, as a reminder for those of you who may have forgotten or maybe didn't know, in Kunimitsu's update, they will also do more balance changes. Now, the last balance changes they did was really good, and players really are excited about what comes next. Hopefully, they keep that momentum going, but in the previous patch notes, they gave us a little bit of a teaser, a little bit of a glimpse of what they wanted to do. They say here in version 3.01, scheduled for late spring 2026, we're currently reviewing priorities while considering fixes for bugs, adjustments to behaviors that will result in excessive rewards, and performance tuning centered on the heat system. Fixes that can be addressed in the short term will be implemented sequentially, while changes with significant impact will be introduced step by step throughout each update after significant verification. From this description alone, it sounds like what we received in the previous update is more so what we could receive in the next one, just continuously chipping at moves that gives way too much on return. And I know in this update they kind of glanced over characters like, King, Victor, Leo. They're kind of creating some monsters out there, Law. And I think another good thing this game can do is address those characters. Tekken 8 is a game where all of the characters are really strong. So when you come down hard on, let's say, Asuka or like Azuzina or Claudio over and over again, yes, you're balancing the game, yes, you're balancing the characters, but they become wild by comparison. So we want to ensure that the developers understand just that we would like for them to balance the characters together to bring them all down, because King, Law, some of these characters are getting wild. Lydia, but all in all, I'm very excited to see what the developers do. I think that they have shown over the last month and a half that they are serious about fixing this game. I don't know what changed. We could speculate about it all day, but I'm just happy that they are changing, they are listening, and I'm happy to see what they do next.